with Dr. Osama Ibrahim Yusuf, who is the researcher at Al-Azhar International Observer. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me.
First, would like to ask you about the role of Al-Azhar International Observer in dealing with different issues.
Okay. In the beginning, I want to thank you and thank all of the crew about my invitation. Al-Azhar International Observer and Fatwa Center, this is something new that Al-Azhar do for 1 year now. It's dealing with the issues that Muslims in the whole world face. And because Al-Azhar want to have an eye, as the Grand Imam said, Al-Azhar International Observer, it's like the eye of Al-Azhar to all of the world. So we need to know what's happening in the whole world, what's happening in England, what's happening in United States, what's happening in Australia, what's happening here, and what's happening there. So in Al-Azhar Observer, we are observer, so we observe every single issues that dealing with Muslims in the whole countries. So, and we have, like, after they finish the day, we have a report, a daily report. So in this report we said, okay, there is something happen, and here is something happen. This is new strategy, want to be like a part of solution, because always we said there are a lot of problems, but where is the solution? We need to be a part of the solution by this. So for example, if there is a place needs like any assessment or any help from Al-Azhar, Al-Azhar will do this after observing all of the news and all of the things. Also, Al-Azhar International Observer and Fatwa Center has another issue, which is dealing with the magazines, that, like, you know, the groups of they call themselves jihadis, but this is not jihad at all, because jihad is a different issue. But those extremism and those extremist groups, in Al-Azhar Observer, we observe every single thing and all of the misconception that is spread in Facebook and Twitter and all of the social media, because, you know, they take the young kids, and or not even kids, but they nowadays took the kids at their instruments, and this is what we also have a report about in Al-Azhar Observer. But also they use the youth and their power and their energy. They use this to be in a very bad way, in a way that is not the contradict, like, totally with Islam. So we need to, in Al-Azhar Observer, and we need to say to people, hey, here, come to Al-Azhar, come to know what is right and what's wrong from the prestigious institution in the world, which is Al-Azhar. So people, when they said, okay, here is Al-Azhar opinion about this issue, see, they said they take it for granted.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, and we'd like to know the role of Islam in raising the value of women. For example, how does Islam deal with the woman concerning her marriage, her heritage, being a mother, and how the Quran talked about the woman in a very admirable way, even especially if she is a mother for children, and also Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him. And for example, concerning the marriage of Muslim women, it's a must that she agrees on before marriage on the man she is going to choose, and if she does not accept, then there's no marriage.
Yeah, it's a very good question.
Yes.
If we want to know, like, the status of women in Islam, we should also go a little bit back to the women before Islam. You know, like, something that sometimes shocking me when I heard or I read in before Islam, the people, when they said you have a baby, all of us, if nowadays I told any person, oh, you have a baby, he becomes super happy. He said, oh wow, that's great. But in that time, when you asked when you told any person, oh yeah, you have a baby, the first question will come to his mind, oh, it is like a male or female, it's a girl or boy. It's like a very strange question. Why? Because when it's a boy, he feels relaxing and very good.
Very happy.
Yeah, very happy with this. When it's a girl, he becomes so sad as this disaster happened to him. And the Quran said this. Said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَإِذَا بُشِّرَ أَحَدٌ بِالْأُنْثَى, means when someone said to another person, you have give a birth to a baby, like girl.
Yes.
ظل وجهه مسودا, he becomes so sad and frown, like he cannot even like smile. وهو كظيم. So in that days, like in that time, why he become like this? Because he want to hide from people, because he has, as I said, it's like a shameful act. And now he are trying to find a way for this, even to bury her alive. To this extent, yes, to this extent, because this is not like, it's very hard to just even hear that he has a baby girl, or to be in a humiliation issue or humiliation with this girl. And also not just in a pre-Islamic period that this happened. You will, like in the traditions or in a Greek, they use like, they look at the women in a very bad way. And sometimes you look at her as a god or commodity. So it's like anything, like a phone or anything. So they don't
but
care
Islam
about...
raised the value of women,
Yeah,
of
right.
course.
So when we look at all of these things, then Islam comes with a very great issues. What the first thing is a matter of education, because some people, when they said, oh, Islam, they think that Muslim women don't have right to even educate themselves.
No, she has
and this
the
is
right,
not
of course.
this is not right at all, because Islam gives the women to be very educated person as a man, because in Islam there is no difference between men and women, but there is a little bit difference, which is the nature itself. The nature of women is like totally different from a nature of, not totally different, there is a little bit of difference between men and women. But if this will make her like deprive her rights from anything, no. The matter of education, as I said, you know who is the best scholar at the time of the Prophet ﷺ?
Of course,
Aisha,
yes.
May Allah have mercy upon her. The mother of the believers.
Yes,
you know,
of course.
Aisha,
The
people
they used to come to her.
The people come to her
receive
house.
Education.
Yeah, just to seek knowledge from her. They said, okay, please, like teach me, and she's a woman. So also another thing that
and also Khadija, concerning not only the education, working women in Islam, women were allowed to buy and sell and work in commerce.
Yeah, because how Khadija know the Prophet ﷺ from the matter of trade.
Yes,
and
trade.
Trade, and she was a very businesswoman, like she's a very successful businesswoman at her time.
Yes, of course.
And
she's a good example of this. Yes.
This is like a real example for people who said, oh look, there is in Muslim Islam there is no right to work. No, she's working and she do a great job, and the Prophet don't do anything, and the Prophet even take like he's dealing with in her trade. He's like participate with her trade, and he was her husband. So the thing is here, the other thing also is the matter of inheritance, as you shed a light on. Inheritance, some people will say, okay, look, because you are a Muslim, so you take the women take half of the right of a man.
Yeah, but she takes the whole money for herself. She's not responsible for any men or giving her son or daughter or anybody around her. But I think the man is responsible.
Yeah,
that's the reason.
This is the thing also. But there is also another thing, that inheritance based on the relationship with the person who died. Is not the matter of...
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, for example, sometimes, in some cases, women took more than men.
Yeah.
When there is her relationship with the person who died is close.
Yes.
So this is not true. They who said like, oh yeah, in Islam they took inheritance, and inheritance part is very little. This is not right, because in Islam
it depends on
her relationship with the person who died. And sometimes they took like a third, and sometimes they took a half. Like sometimes they took a third of all of the inheritance. So. This is come back to the issue of some of the people that they think that when they saw any girl or any like hijabi, like someone who's wearing hijab or something, they thought like, yeah, you are disgracing and you are humiliating in your religion, but this is not true at all. Yeah.
Islam asked the women to be to be in admirable suit.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And also Islam always give a great, as I said, like there is no difference at all. And even the Prophet ﷺ, peace be upon him, said, women are similar to a man, and women the same like a woman. And even in his farewell speech, and in a great like day of Arafah, and the Prophet ﷺ, peace be upon him, he delivered a speech and delivered a sermon to people, and he said, I enjoin you to treat with the women in a great way. So this means the Prophet, even in the days when the Prophet before his death a little bit,
Yes.
he's always talking about women and how the women is really important to women to be like to be a very good element in the society, because you know, if the women and men are both are great together, this community will be great.
Of course.
But if we disgrace and humiliate, this is not related to Islam at all.
Yeah.
But this is sometimes related to another issue, which is to follow the customs and traditions.
Yeah.
And this is the problem. Sometimes it happens with all the religion, not just Islam, but people sometimes follow their desire to just follow their traditions
Yes.
and custom and leave away the matter of religion.
Of course.
This not mean that this is Islam. Like I can say this is just Muslim, because always we must differentiate between two things. Between the religion, which is the sources, the Quran, and like this, the prophetic tradition and all of the stuff, and between the Muslim as individuals.
Yes.
Muslim can do good, can do bad. So I cannot put a Muslim or a person or individual at the case to say, oh look, here is a Muslim, like for example, if I saw a person in the street beating her wife, should I say, oh yeah, all Muslim like this? Some people like just judge you, because we are as humans sometimes love to judge, just judge, open anything. So he might said, oh look, he's a Muslim, so he did like this.
Yes.
Oh, but you must put in your mind, yes, he's individual.
Yes.
He did something.
This is his manners,
Yeah,
but
in a
not
contradict.
the rules of Islam in treating women in good way.
Yeah, and also this something in contradict with your religion as Muslim.
What when a woman is a mother? How the Prophet Muhammad,
Yeah.
peace be upon him, talked about the mother.
You know,
and also in Quran, Allah, of course.
Yeah, sure. When we said when we talked about the matter of mother and how is the Islam put her in a great high esteem.
Yes,
He put her in a great level. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. What this means? Means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the obedience of Him first. After this, obedience of parents, father and mother. And you know something very touchy when someone comes to the Prophet, peace be upon him,
Yes.
and asked him, "O Prophet, please tell me, who is the best person in this world to be accompanied with?"
Yes.
Maybe he can say friend, he can
Yes.
say, what's the Prophet said? He said,
Your mother?
Mother.
Your mother.
He said, your mother. He replied the question because he wanted a different one. And then, who else? He's curious to know, who else? He said, your mother. And then asked him for a third time, who else? He said, your mother.
Yes, 3 times.
3 times, yeah, he said 3 times your mother. And then he asked him, fourth, he said, your father.
Yeah.
And the scholar said something very important about this. They said, because the mother take a lot of responsible for giving birth,
Yes.
and pregnancy, and a lot of pain
Yes.
in these things. And also in the third thing, they said, because the mother, she is responsible for raising up the kids, and this is something very great thing. So you cannot even disobey your mother, because disobeying the mother in Islam, it's one of the great sin.
Yes.
Great sin, yeah, it is a great sin. It's not even minor sin.
Yes.
It's a great sin to displease your mother, to displease your father.
Okay, of course.
So yeah, that's why Islam puts a woman and mother in a great esteem.
Yes. So, and how does the international community view Muslim women?
Yeah,
in your opinion?
That's what I said. Sometimes the matter of judge, it's makes anyone to be sad a little bit of international community sometimes, or people who look at others just without knowing them, because again, there is Muslims and there is Islam. If it's not mean that I saw any place or any family that's not it's contradict with the teaching of Islam, this mean that Islam is like this.
Yes.
So what we saw sometimes in the international media, or when they put or portrayed the women, or Muslim women especially, in a way that is make them as a terrorist, or make them just when you wear hijab or you looks like a Muslim, or saying even nowadays say one of the Arabic letters can be a problem. If someone says Assalamu alaikum in Arabic, for example, it can be a problem for her, even the plane or something. And we saw this many times. And this is like injustice to those people, because you must know what is the religion first and what is the religion said about this. Then you can judge. Then you can say, oh yeah, no, Islam is contradict with this, or Islam agree with this.
Yeah. So Dr. Ibrahim, Osama Ibrahim Yusuf, the researcher at Al-Azhar International Observers, thank you very much for joining Nile TV on this episode of Cairo Local Time.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure, sir. Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program Cairo Local Time, during which we've brought you the latest political, economic, and also social events that were taking place in Egypt. I'm Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.
أول رسائل ربنا نزلت مع آدم، خلتنا بيه سلمنا بيه لما المسيح بشرنا بيه.